Jack Harvey bumping his teammate, Graham Rahal going to Steak and Shake to fry some patties, and Alex Palou with a new track record. It's time for the intro with explosions.
All right.
Okay, so days, whatever, I've lost count. Qualifying is now officially done for the 107th running of the Indy 500. We know who's going to be starting in the front, starting in the rear, and we know who's going to be flipping patties at Steak and Shake. So, what do we think about Rahal?
Oh boy, that was some dramatic things. When you got 3 out of your 4 cars in that last row shootout, it's kind of sketchy, and you got 3/4 of a chance of actually sending one of your guys home, and it's Daddy's son that went home today.
Yep.
So, let's talk about Jack Harvey.
Yes.
The first 2 runs were rough.
Yep.
But that third run, they literally did not have time to cool the car. They just brought it in, made some adjustments, put a new set of tires on, and sent him straight back out. Now then, the first 2 laps did not look good. It looked like Jack Harvey was going to be the one going home. Now, I want to throw in there that he made this run with less than 5 minutes to go, so it cock-blocked the shit out of Graham. He would not be able to respond. The final 2 laps, Jack Harvey picked up significantly. So, your take?
Yeah, it was really, we were all questioning Jack Harvey going back out, but he, like we said, his first 2 laps, he was not in the show, and then he picked it up in the final 2, got himself in with some YOLO adjustments. So that's going to put Jack Harvey in 33rd, Stingray Robb in the middle of that row, and then Christian Lundgaard starting in 31st. Now, let's talk about the other end of the spectrum, the fast guys. The pole position, another new track record for pole, that is. Second all-time fastest qualifying run in history here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Alex Palou gets his pole. Ganassi gets another pole. That's 3 in a row for Ganassi. What do we think about Ganassi?
Well, only thing I can say here is, hello, Palou! Welcome to the pole position for the Indy 500! We knew the speeds were going to be fast. When they went out and warm up this morning and were doing 235.6 was Palou's warm-up speed. Now, that was with a toe, granted, but when we saw 235, that was something that we could call the lap, for sure. And Palou went out there by himself, and he did that 235 on his own.
And it's worth mentioning for the morning session that Benjamin Peterson from Foyt did a 235 as well. He had the fastest lap of the first session, so you know, with the toe, it was hard to gauge. It was a little bit of a surprise, I think, to see a 235. The track lost a lot of speed over the course of the day, but I'm not shocked, I guess.
Now, I will say this. The other 2 Ganassi cars, Marcus Ericsson and Takuma Sato, they did not advance past the fast 12. So that was a huge blow to their chance of getting pole. On the other side of that, you know, we lost Rossi, we lost Pato in that run for the Fast 12, and Tony Kanaan, so that only left Rosenquist. Or no, Pato actually did make it into the Fast 6, yes. Just barely. Now, I want to point this out. The only reason that Alex Palou is on pole right now is because he had that huge first lap. The drop-off for Ganassi in qualifying attempts this weekend has been huge between lap 1 and 2. That 235 carried his run and him to pole position, because in the end, Felix Rosenquist had a more consistent run.
And that's the thing is, here at Indy, for those who aren't aware, you know, if you can carry your run with a big first lap, the drop-off is usually, I mean, it's there for everybody. But we saw several 235s today. I think in the morning session there was 4 drivers over 235. The full front row is 234s.
And also, I want to point this out that Benjamin Peterson was the only one to do a no-toe 235 in the morning warm-up. So that was definitely a big number. And it shows once again that Michael Cannon Big Dick Energy is shining down. We need to rename it because it's also Ganassi Big Dick Energy. Yeah. I just realized that. But no, it is shining. There is cigarette smoke. There is Marlboro Light smoke shining all over this place today. Woo!
Yeah, I'm gonna... And also, it's worth mentioning Santino Ferrucci starting in 4th. That is the best start for an AJ Foyt car since 2001 with Larry Foyt. Very impressed with the Foyt effort. For those who follow my social media, you know I dog on them pretty hard. It has been a decade since their last win, but it's amazing to see them go in a new direction. I could not be happier for this Foyt boys, and especially Benjamin Peterson. You know, to be a rookie and to be in that situation and not be one of the ones sweating it out, that's awesome, and I'm happy for all of those Foyt boys.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been an incredible weekend here for AJ Foyt Racing for sure. You can't say enough because Benjamin Peterson was one of the combustible elements on that list. Next year when we do this, I'm going to make a list on our opening day video of who I think is going to smack the wall down. And Peterson was on that list. And then he goes out here and proves me wrong. So thank you, Benjamin Peterson, for making me look like a retarded fool. Oh, bleep that. Anyways, I want to talk about one other thing. So what did Rahal do last night when they knew that they were in trouble? Well, they wanted to change the chassis, but they couldn't. There's a rule that Fast Friday is the cutoff for a chassis change. So they wanted to, they had the spare cars in the garage. They ended up changing the gearboxes over from the spare cars over to the new ones. Obviously, it didn't help too much, which is something big to note. And also, the one Rahal car that did make the field, Catherine Legg, her car was impounded by the NTT IndyCar Series because they couldn't, or the Rahal guys cannot take anything off of a car that has already qualified.
Yeah, and also the rear weight jacker on the Graham Rahal car was broken. It wasn't working right, and they were not allowed to replace it due to the rules, apparently, something like that. You know, we've said, I think, in every single one of these videos, the Rahal team needs to figure, basically, they need to figure, their shit out, because this is bad. A week ago, we were watching them almost, sweep the front row of the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. Today, we watched them almost sweep the last row of the Indy 500. Rahal needs to get their shit together. Heads are going to be rolling at Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan this week.
And as we said before, that's what happens when you have an F1 engineer trying to do an IndyCar engineer's job. And I want to add on to that is that we saw this last year as well. The Rahal cars were slow at the in the build-up and in the Indy 500 last year. It is a true fall from grace because just 3 years ago they had won this event and they finished 1 and 3 with Takuma Sato and Graham Rahal. So it is a huge fall from grace for them, and they need to figure some shit out. When you have the guys over the RC Anderson's crew, the Able Motorsports guys, they are making Rahal look like fucking rookies. That is embarrassing. If Marco wants to complain here about how embarrassing it is for Andretti Autosport, Bobby Rahal should be. He shouldn't even show his face around here with that performance. Because, you know what? The Andretti suck with the IR18. The Rahal guys, they actually won with the IR18, the Aeroscreen IR18. So they know how to do this relatively recently. It's just they went dumb mode the last couple years.
Yeah, and I mean, when you come to Indy, you have those teams that are going to be heavy hitters. Like in the mid-2010s, it was Andretti. In the late 2010s, it was Penske, and now it's Ganassi. And there's usually those teams that struggle. It used to be Foyt, and I guess now they've switched places. I don't know. Something needs to change at that team very clearly because unbelievable that a team with that big of sponsors, that much funding, that much talent on both the staffing and the engineering side, the driving side. I don't know what else to say. That's the big point of the day is how Rahal has got to fix this.
And I mean, it's inexcusable. I mean, they're building a brand new facility here, more local, in order to house their BMW program, to house this. And there was BMW staff on hand here at the Speedway this weekend. It's embarrassing. It really is. And I wanted to add another point here that the McLaren team, they didn't really have the pace and promise that we had yesterday. Now, Rosenqvist had an amazing day. He ended up with a very high 234 average. Yep. But at the same time, though, when it came to the Fast Six, it fell off. It seems like as the track went on, they did the Fast Six in happy hour, as they would call it, on a practice day. The track really didn't improve. It really did fall off. That's a little bit of a letdown, but still, the speeds that we saw, the single lap speeds, was absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely. I mean, I was saying, I think earlier this week, I don't know if I said it in one of these videos, but I thought we were gonna see a low 235. We saw a mid 235. Single lap, that is. Just a lot to take away from this. Honda gets another pole, but Chevy lock out of the front row outside of that. It was a Chevy showing. Yeah. Chevy is looking a lot better than they have. It just matters if they got that economy.
Just not Team Penske. Also, I wanted to throw one quick note in there that Rinus VK did blow a header in warm-up, but the team did bounce back and get him in there, and he was securely in the Fast Six. I think he got third.
I think he's second.
Still.
Second front row, second year in a row, VK is on the front row, and I think that's Rosenquist on the outside of row 1.
Okay. And then Dixon was a little bit subpar for Dixon, but still. Said the car was too loose. So that's really it for this one. But now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. It is time for everyone's favorite stuffed little furry friend, Leave It to Beaver.
Boy, oh boy, what another incredible day at the racetrack. This is some depressed Graham Rahal fan dropped his $17 IPA beer all over me. So forgive me if I'm a little tipsy right now. I kind of forget what happened, but I don't need to be drunk to know the fact that I love being right about things. Watch me do my best Graham Rahal impression. Watch this. Hi, welcome to Steak and Shake. What can I get started for you? Boy, oh boy, I love being right. Jack Harvey, you still need to get that real estate license because it didn't matter what you did. Even if you got bumped or if you won into the show, you're going to get fired because you either failed to make the race or because you bumped the owner's son. What did you do? What did you do? Oh, no. But I'm so happy that Graham Rahal is going to be flipping burgers at Steak and Shake. I'm so happy. Rahal, get your shit together. How do you have a multi-million-dollar facility in Brownsburg? You have a factory, BMW program, but you somehow can't go faster than 231 miles an hour. What are you doing? What are you doing, son? You're done. You're done. You're done. You are slower than AJ Ford Racing in the Oldsmobile days. I don't get it. I don't get it. But man, again, let me do it again. They can do better. Hi, welcome to Steak and Shake. What can I get started for you? Oh man, I'm so happy. You know what I am also happy about? Felix Rosenquist. He got up there. He started on the front row. AJ Foyt Racing. How about Santino Falucci? He's starting up there in the second row, starting fourth. I'm so happy for him. Michael Cannon again. Ooh, get that, I'm coming. Ooh, all over the front row. He's coming for your jobs. He's coming on your back. He's coming in my teeth. Oh man, he's gonna be incredible. We have a whole nother week of practice, have a whole race to go through. I got a lot more stuff to talk about. But again, bye Graham. See you at Steak and Shake. I can't wait for you guys to be at Steak and Shake. I want my Frisco burger and I want it saucy. Ooh, kill him.